Thinking of taking like
I'm
this.
just so excited.
Welcome to the new Nissan Z. Alex is excited. I can barely
so excited for this car.
do anything without him talking about it and getting excited about it. So we're gonna dive in depth, look at some of the facts that have been released, announced, get Alex's reaction to the trailer because
the
he's
400Z is officially unveiled.
The Z.
And it's coming.
Not 400.
The Z is coming to the States in the springtime, and I couldn't be more excited. For those that don't know, I love Nissans, and I love specifically that they're coming back with this car. I've been a huge fan of the 240, 260, and 280Z. I had a 280Z a long time ago, but I attribute a lot of what I love about tuner cars to my 76 280Z. So, with that being said, when Nissan introduced it, it was a big deal. Manual, like 6-speed, affordable sports coupe. Well, this was something a lot of people wanted.
Alex, we're not here to talk about the history of the Nissan Z.
Listen.
We're here to get our reactions.
Yeah, okay, but the thing is this is a big deal because Supra it up.
Okay, we'll get into that too. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at the reveal video, then we're gonna hop on over to Nissan's website, see some of the facts of what's been released.
The figures.
Yeah, so the wheels, tires, and suspension at fitmentstreets.com. Let's check it out. Finally, an enthusiast car coming out.
Look at those wheels. They're actually pretty good looking from factory.
I'm not gonna lie, I've seen the reveal video and it gave me freaking chills.
It's just nuts, like what they carried into this brand new car. That there's so many old, like design notions of this car and from the 280, 260, and 240. Even the steering wheel.
They said the steering wheel was designed and influenced by the GTR steering wheel.
Really?
Yeah, which I thought was super interesting.
I found this on the web.
Wait a minute, you're not supposed to talk to me. Even like the slope on the rear arches.
Yes. The 300ZX tail lights really
of the emblem.
Yep.
In the same exact spot. That was an interesting exhaust tip.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. That was like the one thing. I love the car, but like the exhaust tip was a little.
Did you hear the exhaust note? Kind of a little, I don't know.
I thought you were gonna say something.
Little turbo? I don't think it's actually gonna sound
That's what I was gonna say. I'm interested to see how it actually sounds.
I don't think it's gonna sound like that.
I mean, you can look up the Infinities, see how they sound with the, because that's one thing. Now, they did put the Infinity engine in there, and it's based, they use the 370Z chassis for this car. So
it's a different motor, but it's the same platform or similar platform as the 370Z.
Yeah, so we're just gonna send that for another 12 years.
Yeah,
of using,
I mean,
God,
that's such a Nissan thing to do.
They loved the 370Z. They haven't changed the 370Z.
Well, Nissan doesn't really have that much money to do that with.
Okay.
So they just keep reusing the same chassis as long as humanly possible.
And I gotta get this out of the way. I might have a little bit of tension here because there's a lot of talk going on between the Supra community and the new Z community. And I feel like I need to defend the Supra slightly, but I will say, I absolutely love the new Z car and I think it's phenomenal. I think they did a great job.
Yes.
So obviously we have the 400 horsepower, twin turbocharged.
How much does the Supra have?
The A91s have 380 from the factory, which is interesting.
Interesting.
We're pushing 350 torque
That's
out of
less
there, so it's a little less than the Supra.
Nissan's just not, okay, I'm not a huge fan of Nissan's automatic transmission personally. I think the only reason that this car is going to be successful, especially with the enthusiast community, which we've kind of talked about, is they're driving into the ground that this is an enthusiast-driven vehicle, like why they made it. I think that them coming out with that 6-speed manual transmission is gonna be one of the key differentiators that's gonna, if somebody's looking at what's comparably, you know, a Supra to a Z, they're gonna probably, if they're looking at that transmission as one of those go-tos, they're gonna lean towards the Z.
I think the Toyota Supra missed the mark not offering a manual transmission, and Nissan is leaning the hell into that. Just, hey, this is the enthusiast car. This is an enthusiast car.
Like they saw the opportunity, and
it really is, and they did a really good job. And pairing that 6-speed manual with a mechanical limited slip differential is huge. Now, one thing they did add, which is new to the Z platform, is electronic steering.
I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of electronic steering. I am in certain vehicles, but they're usually priced much higher that you don't really feel the fact that it's not real steering.
Right.
I'm not sure how Nissan's gonna do it. I haven't driven the Q50, Q60 though that heavily, so I didn't really compare the two, but I don't know how I feel about that one.
Now, going over the interior too, I think the 12-inch display for the cluster that's all digital is cool. It's customizable. You can choose what you have up there. You can put a boost gauge, your temp, stuff like that. Very cool. However, they have the triple gauge cluster, which is very iconic for a Z car.
Datsun, Actually, just one time, I was doing a burnout one time, and I launched it, and this is when I knew I had a problem with my build quality. Is I had a temp gauge right here, and my temp gauge just flew out. Like I was doing a burnout, let her roll out, and it shook out, and then the cord disconnected, which caused the rest of my dash to stop working.
That's perfect. That's how you want things to go.
Garage builds. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so we have, starting from left to right, a boost gauge. Cool, that's sweet from the factory. It looks mechanical, not digital from what I can tell too, which is a plus in my opinion. The middle one's the one that weirds me out. That's turbine speed. So how many rotations your turbo is.
It's just a thing Nissan does where they just add a random gauge that you're not entirely sure if it adds any value.
Yeah, and then we got volts, which again, it's arguable. Like, why can't we get oil pressure or air fuel ratio? Or
I can't wait for like some gauge company to just go, okay, here's your boost, here's your oil pressure, and then here's your temps.
Yep.
Or your AFR. There you go. Or they're gonna create it so that they're gonna code it in where you can just get a new display that'll show all of that.
True. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I like that it has factory gauge pads, but
what do you think
turbine
about the
speed is...
turbine speed. What do you think about the two-tone interior?
This is, I feel, where the unfortunate downturn of Japanese styling comes in, and we're seeing with this, in my opinion, from what I've seen, like the blue interior, where it's like the full blue interior.
And here's the thing that I will say that Supra, I feel like a lot of people have this thing against the Supra because it's a new sports car. People will learn to love that car over time. But Toyota and BMW, they did a really good job with them coming together, them giving the products to Toyota saying, no, it's not good enough, that return, that QA check. You get in a Supra, and yeah, you know, it's littered with BMW, but it's good quality stuff. I mean, I really like the interior of the new Supra. I always worry about Nissan's interiors, and generally speaking, a lot of Japanese sports budget cars have some really odd interiors sometimes. The Datsun was never known for its interior, and it wasn't known for its wiring either. It was terrible on both accounts, but it was a fun car to drive. So I'll be interested to see.
The good news is, like, I think if it was just all one color, it wouldn't be bad at all, and I probably wouldn't have noted anything about it.
Now it's blue.
It's these goofy blue seats with the half blue dash with the wrapped blue around you. It's just too much. It's cool too to see an actual handbrake, not an electronic button.
And that might actually be a big deal for people that want to try maybe tossing it sideways, or the drifting community or something like that. To actually have a handbrake with an LSD, that's a cool pro.
Yeah, it was cool to see that Nissan modernized where they needed to, and they left stuff alone that they should have, which is like what the Supra didn't do.
They have like the 300ZX style tails, they have the arches, they have the rear window, which is iconic for that like Z-ish design.
Oh, you can just see the 240Z all over. The side profile of this car just screams 240Z.
They have the teardrop style headlights, which was a kit. I mean, they have even the door handles. That's like a combination of the 350, 370, kind of coming into a new Z style. It's just, I really do think that Nissan has a lot of opportunity to not mess this up with this car. They really do.
Absolutely. Some cool stuff too. It's going to have launch control from the factory, which is brand new for a Z car. Kind of neat. Coming out spring 2022. So if you can wait.
I feel like I want one. I would like to have one. What do you think? So here's another question to just bring it back real quick, because first impressions are super important.
Yes.
But we're treating the motor like it's a brand new motor when it's not.
No,
it's
not at all.
It's the same exact out of the Infinity, right? It's the twin turbo, 3 liter,
24 valve,
6 cylinder. The one thing I will say that a comparable like a Supra is gonna have on this is the B58 platform has done relatively pretty well with power.
Yes.
But the Infinity Q50, that platform, I'm not sure has the same history, does it?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the reliability of this, but having 400 horse out the gate is pretty insane.
Nuts.
And I think all this is gonna come down to this big battle that's going on is what this price point is going to be. Are they going to have a cheap version at high 30s for people to just get into? And then, like, well, one thing too that I think is going to change the game, the Nismo model. And I know that might be out a little farther, but that will literally be a game changer. And seeing this car, I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and it is the perfect blank slate.
Yeah.
Like, it's subtle. The car itself is subtle, but imagine this thing dropped on wheels with some aero bits to it, a splitter, a diffuser. Oh my God, it's gonna look insane.
I mean, just how like the rear bumper lifts in the back. I mean, it's begging for rear aero. The side skirts, the amount of space you actually have in the vehicle is nuts. And to bring up the Nismo part, Nissan does this thing where their blank slates are really blank slates. I mean, everything that you see here on this picture, the blue one that has the black, the black top on it, I'm telling you that they're gonna upsell half the crap that you're seeing on this car, because they're gonna get you a base model that's probably gonna be like 35 to 37 and a half, but they're gonna get you on the two-tone roof. They're gonna get you on the LED headlights. They're gonna get you on the upsized wheels or the upgraded brakes. You saw the Z painted brakes. Do you want color match brakes, or do you want standard
The thing
brakes?
is it not absolutely insane that hopefully for $38K you can get 400 horse?
That would be incredible.
And that's the biggest thing with the Supra too right now. You can get a 400 horse. Imagine in a few years here when you can get a B58 turbocharged inline 6 and it's tunable, you get a downpipe and E50 tune, you're making damn near 500 horse. And those are gonna be, low 40s, high 30s once they get some miles on them.
I think that's what makes me so excited for what we saw the Z do. And also, I mean, in all honesty, what we saw Toyota do with the Supra is now we're seeing the Z, and then we're going to see the Integra, and then we're starting to see, we're starting to see, the NSX. I know it's a much higher mark, but you're starting to see a lot of these companies now say, this generation that used to love these cars are now coming back into the fray with a little bit more cash, way more nostalgia love for these cars, and they're gonna pick one up. Like, for me personally, I love what this car stands for, and even if it's not the best bang for your buck at 40 Gs, it's still a fantastic platform. And to see Supra having a fantastic platform, see an Integra come back. I mean, it's like every part of my inner 16-year-old is so excited.
I was gonna say, I've been getting so jacked up seeing these reveals, and Acura releasing the Integra, and the Supra came out, now the Z, and like, I feel like I've been a little harsh on these first reactions to the Z, but I truly do love this car, and I think the car community got a huge win here, because to see something like this, it's like a car enthusiast dream car, and Nissan knew what they were doing.
And I think it's a nice, healthy bump right between different platforms. When you look at the BRZ or the GT86 or whatever it is that they're calling it these days, some of the people, they don't like the 224 horsepower, they want more. Well, then you're jumping into what? You're jumping into a Subaru or something like that, maybe a WRX STI. Well, not everybody wants an all-wheel drive platform.
Another car that will be announced shortly.
So what are you looking for? Well, the next up is a Supra. I mean, as a newer sports car platform, that's all you got at the 50K mark, and so you start jumping up into crazy numbers. This is a real cool middle ground where if the price stays right in between, you're gonna find a lot of really happy, I think, enthusiasts at 40 grand that are gonna say, no, I don't want a BRZ, and no, I don't have the money for a brand new Supra, but I do have money for a manual 400 horsepower.
But that's all the speculation there. There has been no factual information on price. We could be talking out of our asses right now. This could be a 50K car for all we know.
Which it probably will be.
But we don't know 100%. If they can swoop in and be 10K less than a Supra, come with all this, I see it completely taking over. I see this being the car all enthusiasts strive for and go for. But it's gonna depend on that. Still, that blue interior is still messing me up.
And one last thing to add on to this. Is I think the reason that I am saying I feel like this is gonna come in at around that mark is because they're recycling so much on this car already. A lot of it, they make it sound new, but it's really not new. I mean, the chassis design is slightly different, but it's the same chassis they've been using for how long? The motor, transplanted. The brakes, probably transplanted. The rotors, probably a lot of this stuff is gonna be transplanted. What makes it so incredible is the fact that they essentially paid a little bit of respect to the old Zs. They brought it into a slightly smaller platform, changed the windshield, wind wipers, all the crap, the 6-speed in there, and then they're like, here's a 40K car, go nuts.
See, and that's why I was so many people were upset with the Supra and borrowing parts from BMW, but I was so happy about it because that's what got me into my dream car. Was because they borrowed parts. If Toyota would have designed everything from scratch for this new Mark V Supra, that would have been a 70K car.
Yeah, and
it would have been in the GTR
5
territory.
years to make.
Yeah,
on top of the 10 years.
And
it took
I
to
never
design.
would have owned it. I wouldn't have had it at this point.
I will happily take any collaborated car
Yeah.
if that means that we can get enthusiast-oriented vehicles in 2022. With everything going on and with everyone going to EV and everything
That's
going
facts.
to
Yep.
SUVs, to just see something come out of Nissan specifically, you know, that just makes me happy.
That is the truth, and I think that summed it all up perfectly. The last thing is, would you say it's a cop or drop? Let's say it comes in at 45K to play both ranges. Are you saying go out and get it, or are you saying let's wait a little bit, let's see how it does, let's see what the aftermarket reliability is, or do you think they just hit it out of the park and this is a go buy it right now car?
I think I have 2 sentences after I say what I think. Is that fair?
Yes.
I say cop, and the reason I say cop is because the people that will be jumping into this car are gonna be the ones that are gonna fix anything that's wrong with that motor to give it crazy power, just like they did with the Supra. I don't think there's gonna be a change in who modifies this. People were modifying Supras last year. They're gonna be modifying the Zs this year, 100%.
Well, I can't wait to see it on coilovers or air or any type of wheels. I know Artisa just did the rendering of some Elders on it, and I thought it looked insane. I'm so excited to see the aftermarket parts for this thing start rolling out and people modifying them. But don't forget wheels, tires, suspension.
Are you gonna cop it or drop it?
FitmentIndustries.com. I didn't want to give my answer because I feel like I
Do
might
it.
get killed.
Do
by
it
this.
as a Supra owner.
100% cop. Fun fact, I tried as hard as I could to pre-order this car. And I was talking with local dealerships and they're like, no, we got nothing. We have no idea. Like, this could be released in 2025. We're really not sure.
Idea. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I literally can't wait. And I went and bought a Supra. After, like, a week after I bought my Supra, the dealership emailed me, hey, we're getting ready to start taking pre-orders. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me.
I watched this last night, and the moment that it finished up, I sent an email to the guy that you forwarded me about this and said, yep, still interested, let me know. Let us know what you guys think about the Z in the comment section below. And of course, if you guys want us to touch on some of the newer vehicles that are coming out with some of the releases, and you'd like to see more videos like this, let us know. Of course, wheels, tires, suspension, like Dakota said, FitmentIndustries.com. I'm so excited.
I still love my Supra. I hope people don't take that.
No.
I regret my decision.
You can only love one thing at a time.
That's what the internet says.
That is the car culture way. You can only love one thing.
Especially, no B58, only 2JZ. They should have just put the 2JZ in the Mark V.